Hi, everyone. This is Stacy Hall, and I'm here to chat about the strategic attraction planning process that I introduced in my very first #1 best-selling book back in 2001. And it continues to be a bestseller today because this plan actually works. It's a 4 simple step process for being able to become very clear about who you intend to attract in your life to support you in achieving your goals, and how to do that, and who you are to be in order to be able to attract those people. And I'm joined today by Lori Youngdahl, who actually asked me to create this video for her and her network marketing team because they are curious about it. Lori, you've been working with your strategic attraction plan, and now your team is curious. And if I understand correctly, you didn't feel like you could really explain how the magic happens. Is that correct?
Yeah, and because I have been going through it myself, and I do my best to explain to other people. I haven't been able to, sorry, I apologize. I have a call coming in that comes through my computer.
It happens.
I've explained because when something's working for me, I can't be quiet about it. I have to tell a bunch of other people about it. That's just who I am by nature. And once I started putting together the strategic attraction plan, I found you kind of by accident. I've seen your name show up on the Young Living Convention, and I remember wanting to go to see you talk, and I wasn't able to get in one time, and the other time I had to choose between seeing you and someone else that I would never get to see also. And so I bumped into you because I wasn't even looking for it. I didn't realize I was. That I came across in a Facebook feed that someone was sharing one of blabs that you do here. And you were talking about mistakes that teams make when they're creating teams, or mistakes that leaders make when they're creating teams. Well, I think if you talk to a lot of people in network marketing, that there's a lot of playing, exploring, and experimenting going on. And people don't always regard it as playing, exploring, and experimenting. Sometimes they feel like I'm just failing forward on a consistent basis. And so I heard you talk on these blabs, and every single thing that you were saying was like you were talking directly to me. There were things that I've been through. They were real world experiences. They were common sense. It was things that not only that I had experienced, but when I network and talk to other people in network marketing who are also leaders in their own groups, they are the same things that a lot of other people are going through. And you were talking about this thing called a strategic attraction plan. And I thought, well, what the heck is that? And so then I went to your website and I got free tips, and I started reading some of those, and I thought, well, these are amazing, but I want to go back to those videos. So I went back to your videos and I started learning more, and you kept talking about this strategic attraction plan. And I thought, all right, it's time. I've got to go figure this thing out because it keeps coming at me. Go put one together and let's see what happens. And so I ended up, I'm on the go a lot. I love reading books, and I know that it might take me time to get through a book, but it would take me less time to get through an audio series because that's just my best learning method. And so I got your Fastest Attraction Mastery program, I think is what it's called. And it was just 6 audios. And I thought, totally digestible, I can do this. So I listened to one, and the goal behind me getting this is because it was going to walk me through baby step how to put together a strategic attraction plan. I didn't even know at that time that you were going to come to Phoenix and do this event for me. And so I put it together, and it was just so clear to me. I have used calendars before. I have used positive statements before, but I never had a cohesive plan where it was keeping my energy positive and high. How does that relate to what's on my calendar? How does that relate to what it is that I really want to do in life? And when life happens, you know, kids are sick, something goes wrong, your car breaks down, all these things that we feel trip us up, how do we get back on track and keep our eye on what it is that we're really wanting to do and keep it moving forward? And it was like, "Wah! Strategic attraction plan." So it's kind of like a roadmap for me. That's what it's been functioning as. And I'm not perfect at it. I'm playing, exploring, and learning all of the different ways to find how I best interact with this plan. And it has been, I'm telling you, I have bought the prettiest calendars for years, and I had the best intentions, so I thought that I was going to use my calendar and keep track of stuff. And for a couple of weeks, I was awesome. And then all of a sudden it just, something happened with the kids or schedule or something, and poof, out it went. And then I felt out of control and I felt overwhelmed. And this is one thing that I feel like it is so easy to get back on track with where I want to go, remind myself what I'm doing. And it's not a panic like, oh, I've got, like your people are coming over and you've got to clean up your house. It's not one of those things. It's more along the lines of, oops, we're kind of veering a little bit over here. Let's correct it and bring it back to the center. So that's for me what the strategic attraction plan has done.
I've got to tell you honestly, Lori, well, I only speak honestly, but I'm just going to say I am dumbfounded at what a beautiful way you've spoken about it. I don't think I have ever explained it that clearly before. That is beautiful. And to me, it is a roadmap. It is the most focused way that I have ever found to be able to see where I want to go and align all of my energies and all of my desires and all of my wants and all of my fears that pop up and all the breakthroughs that I have around those fears in order to stay on that straight line towards my path or towards my destination. And I'm going to share with you how it came to be, because I didn't set out to have a strategic attraction planning process. It was very divinely guided. I've always believed since I was a child that we are here to be of service to people. We're destined to be of service to people. As such, there must be people I'm destined to serve. In other words, how is it that you and I can both be in the same network marketing company and we can be friends and play, right? Because the more than competition, there's collaboration. Because somebody who's going to be served by you is probably not going to be the same person who's served by me, not in the same way. So if we accept that, we sit back and go, okay, my people are going to come to me, your people are going to come to you, but we can be of great support to each other. Cool. And so that's where I was at. And so I was considering, how do I attract the people that I'm meant to collaborate with? Because not everybody's at the same vibrational point that I am, and I'm not at their vibrational points. Let's talk about that. What does it mean to be in the attraction zone? Well, despite all of the focus that's been on the law of attraction, most people still talk about it as there's some place that we're not in most of the time. I want to correct that. We are always in the attraction zone. All of us, always, just like we're always dealing with gravity. Whether we think about it consciously or not, it has a direct effect on our lives. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I love that analogy that we're always dealing with gravity and the attraction. I like that.
Same thing, quantum physics principles, always inside of the attraction zone. The question is, well, what part of the attraction zone? So people who say that the law of attraction doesn't work for them, it's working. It's just not working the way they want it to work, because they're not realizing the thoughts. I'm not saying they're crazy, but I'm saying that's these thoughts that we are thinking on an ongoing basis. So we can say, I choose to attract a client who shows up on time, who pays me full price, who's a pleasure to work with, right? We can say that.
Sure.
Or we could say it like this. I don't want clients who do da 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 da. 99% of the people, when they're working with the law of attraction, that's what they say. I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, thinking that if they declare what they don't want, they'll get what they do. No, because the focused energy is on the don't. You know, we hear that the mind doesn't hear don't. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. The point of fact is, though, we're talking about things we don't want. That's where the energy is focused. If we want what we want, let's focus on what we want. So that's the first principle of the strategic attraction planning process. The second principle is there is one distinguishing factor that keeps two or more people together. Without it, it doesn't matter if everything you want the person displays, except they're not connected to you through this one distinguishing factor. We explore what that one distinguishing factor is because it's uniquely different for each person who creates their plan. The more you know what that is, the faster these people come into you. And that is a guarantee on my part. Things start to shift within 24 hours once you know what that is. And Lori, did you have that experience?
Oh yeah. I mean, once I discovered the question of what's the most important thing in the world to you, of course, it was like I'm a kid with a new toy. And I went around and I asked a bunch of people. And I have to be honest, a lot of people were looking at me like, well, but I haven't really given that much thought. And they seemed a little uncomfortable about the question being posed. But some came back to me later and said, you know, I was thinking about that. And this is what I came up with. And so I know from working with Chi to Be stuff and strategic attraction plan that to ask some questions like, well, what does that represent to you? And so it's really fun to play around with this and to see where people who you really love already in your life, where you intersect, and sometimes to discover we aren't completely intersecting and we're not having that connection. So then it's more of a, you can decide how these people are going to come into play with your goals and what you really want to do in life. And it's fascinating. It's not any massive emotion like, oh, you're out. You know, it's not really like that. It's more of a peaceful thing where it's an awareness and that's okay.
And using the third part of the planning process helps us to determine how we want to interact with those people as well. So it's always about, who do I want to be in the world? Am I being that? Am I putting my energy and my focus on what makes it possible for me to be that? Or am I using other experiences as an excuse for not being that? This is what we discover in that third part of the attraction process. And Lori, I'm going to ask you, while I continue to talk about the fourth part, if you talked about the website, because I provide free tips that are come off of the strategic attraction planning process in my website on chi2be.com. So if you're able to, while I'm chatting, write
sure.
that in the bottom right-hand corner, and the beanattractionmaster.com website as well. That would be fabulous if you'd be willing to share those. Because once we've identified who we intend to be in the world, and it takes a little bit of time, not the first time that you write the plan, but I say work with your plan 5 minutes every day, just 5 minutes. Over the course of time, you'll start to reveal information to yourself. You go to deeper and deeper and deeper places within yourself when you know it's safe to tell the truth. So the fourth part of the plan is to take a look at where you're putting your energy, that you may choose not to put your energy there anymore in order to have more energy to put where you do want to be in order to maximize your results. So as Lori said, it's not a scary thing where, oh my goodness, now I have to like cut everything else. No. It's a process. It's a transition. It's a moving forward with comfort and ease, and also with velocity, and being able to set up boundaries. So for people who don't feel like they have boundaries right now, I can tell you the strategic attraction planning process was made for them. Want boundaries? Create a 4-step strategic attraction plan. Want people to hear you and believe you? Create a strategic attraction plan. Want to get a distinguishing focus on who you're meant to be serving in the world? so that people can find you more easily? Do a strategic attraction planning process. Want to be able to attract a more perfect mate? Do a strategic attraction planning process. Okay. And I have to tell you, my husband and I, we're very clear with each other about what's on our attraction plans, which keeps us together. And when we're not actually being who we intend to be, we have conversations around that. It makes it very quick and very easy, and it avoids arguments over misconceptions and unfulfilled expectations. So I'll just say that if you have misconceptions and unfulfilled expectations in your relationships, create a strategic attraction planning process and do it along with the person that you're having the issues with, because you'll discover the source of those issues and be able to lovingly work through them if both of you are willing to do that. And it's another reason why doing this inside of teams, having a whole team create their plan together, keeps the team together, or allows people who are not really feeling it to have a reason to explain. Because oftentimes we feel things, but we don't know why. It brings those whys to the surface, and it's just very easy. So I'm going to share with you that just this morning, somebody who's been serving on a team that I'm on, her wellness has been challenged, and she's been doing her best to hang on to the team, and we've been doing our best to let her know it was okay to release and take care of herself. Well, by doing the strategic attraction planning process, both myself and her and others, it became apparent to me that where her focus is meant to be is on bringing her wellness back right now, and releasing without upset, purely with love and celebration that she's making this choice. Our team becomes stronger. She individually becomes stronger, and there's nothing to say she won't join us again in the future once she's over this challenge. So this is the benefit of being able to be with people and not make them wrong, them not make us wrong, and to be able to have everything work as we continue to move forward towards our most important goals. Lori, I hope you found that to be your experience.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, I fortunately must have been using some raw form of the strategic attraction plan when I attracted my husband, because it turns out that as I was sort of a little bit nervous, and I'm like, what's the most important thing in the world to you, honey? Thank goodness it was a crossover. But I wasn't surprised by that, because we are very happily married. However, whether you're dating or whether you're wanting that business to grow, and if you have stumbled along the way, there's just like it's like a sense of peace that I think affects your posture too. It's how you go out and show up around other people, because you have done, and it's not like it takes years to do this. I mean, you guys, the strategic attraction plan, like I said, I didn't blow through the audios. I did one a day so that I'd have some time to process it. But you can do it in a short amount of time, and the longevity of having this plan in place, it's forever, and it's useful for any goals, whether it's with your kids, your work, your faith, whether you want to get in shape or get your health back into play, like you were talking about with the one person. It's just so it's literally kind of a global thing. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life. It's going to be able to come into play and be kind of like a compass for you. And that's one of the things that I really like. It's just soothing and calming. I love my oils, don't get me wrong, but this was like the perfect element to pair up with.
I love it. And yes, it's another way of raising our vibration to be able to be successful, to keep moving forward towards our goals. So Lori, thank you so much for asking me to chat about this. And I'm just going to give a quick overview of, you mentioned the Fastest Attraction Mastery Program, the self-study program. So first you would start, I would say, by going to the website and subscribing for free to the attraction tips to get a quick taste of the kind of information that's involved in transforming ourselves from being searchlights into a powerful lighthouse that attracts. And then go to beanattractionmaster.com, and there's a video there from me which talks a little more about the strategic attraction planning process. And in that self-study program, you're going to get 6 one-hour audios that never expire. They're evergreen. There's nothing about them that could ever expire. So whether you create a plan today or you create a plan 5 years from now, they're there, and you can use it to create as many plans as you wish over and over again. So you don't have to keep buying the program. It's there for you to make as much as you want out of it. It also comes with a guided workbook, because I know sometimes people are wondering, am I doing this right? Am I not doing this right? And so the workbook gives you it's a kind of the borders to move through as you create your attraction plan, so that you get to a finished plan by the end of the 6 1-hour recordings. You can listen to them in the car. You can start to let those creative juices percolate as you're listening, and then come back and work with the workbook later. It's very simple, it makes it very easy, because the plan is easy to do. And I want everybody to feel how easy it is to do. And they're downloads. So you save them to your computer, you print it out, you save it to a CD, you do whatever you like with it. Your phone, exactly. Yeah. All I ask is that if you're using the plan for yourself, keep it for yourself, right? And then encourage other people to get a plan for themselves. But that's what the Fastest Attraction Self-Mastery Program is. And when you take part in that, you also get access to me through my private VIP Attraction Masters group on Facebook. Every day I'm there along with other attraction masters, and we're giving each other tips and ideas and resources to keep our attraction plan passionately attractive, so we stay in the highest heights of the attraction zone. And so that's all that I can think to share. Lori, did I forget anything?
No, I think that you covered everything. I love it. It's great. Can't wait to share
Beautiful.
this.
Well, great. Well, I'm going to go and take a look at my attraction plan and add a few things that I loved about our experience today, and add that onto my plan. Keep it expanding.
Always. I do the same too.
Fantastic.
Thanks so much, Stacey. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. All right. Talk to you all soon. See you in the Attraction Masters group on Facebook. Once you've checked out beinattractionmaster.com. Keep attracting. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Stacey. Bye-bye.